The drama begins with Woo Hyun-jin trying to live a normal life in Seoul, but everything falls apart for her in the blink of an eye. She receives an urgent call from her older sister, asking her to come see her because she needs to talk about something serious. Hyun-jin suspects it has to do with her sister's relationship with her husband, because things between them had already been tense, but she still rushes to the house. When she arrives, the atmosphere feels strange. Her sister tries to stay calm, but it is obvious she is at her limit. Between broken sentences and long silences, she confesses to Hyun-jin that she is pregnant. She says it with a mix of fear and hope, because her husband does not seem ready to be a father and she does not know if their home can handle such a big change. Hyun-jin does not scold her or give her a speech. She simply stays by her side and makes her one simple promise. No matter what happens, she will not leave her alone. That promise becomes the thread holding the whole story together, because shortly afterward, a tragedy happens. Her sister and her husband get into an accident and die. Hyun-jin is devastated, but the hardest blow comes when she is told that the baby survived. From one day to the next, she goes from being the aunt who visits to becoming the only adult who can take care of the little one. The boy's name is Sun Woo-ju, and even though he is still very small, he already carries an enormous void inside him. Hyun-jin returns to her apartment with the baby in her arms and her mind in complete turmoil. She does not know how to change diapers quickly, she does not have the routines under control, and exhaustion is tearing her apart. There are nights when she just stares at the crib, unable to understand how she ended up at that point. Sometimes tears slip out without warning, and then she wipes her face as if she has no right to fall apart. But Woo-ju cries, he needs to eat, he needs to sleep, he needs to feel that someone is there. And Hyun-jin, even though she is afraid, forces herself to learn. In the middle of that chaos, Sun Tae-hyung appears, the brother of the late husband. He arrives with an expression that mixes grief and responsibility, like someone who has also lost too much and has no idea where to begin. Tae-hyung is quiet, reserved, and it is obvious that he is full of guilt. He does not come to fight. He comes to see the child, to confirm that he is alive, to touch his little hand, to feel that there is still something left of his family in the world. At first, Hyun-jin does not know how to treat him. She thinks, this man is broken too, but the baby is with me. Tae-hyung, on the other hand, looks around the house and instantly realizes that Hyun-jin is not prepared to raise the child alone. So he suggests something that changes everything, to stay close and help, not as a favor, but as a moral obligation. He does not want to take the baby away from her, but he also does not want to disappear and pretend he does not exist. That is how an uncomfortable coexistence begins. Tae-hyung comes and goes, cooks simple meals, helps bathe the child, and sometimes falls asleep sitting down, his face worn out, as if his body has already reached its limit. Hyun-jin keeps working, because she needs money and because the thought of her life drifting without direction terrifies her. At the office, people look at her with curiosity, and she prefers not to say too much. She only says that she is taking care of a relative. Inside, she feels as if she is juggling fire. To make matters worse, Hyun-jin is also carrying a silent guilt. Every time she looks at Woo-ju, she remembers her sister and wonders if she would have done anything differently. There are moments when she dreams about her, as if in the dream she could still hear her voice. And when she wakes up, reality crashes down on her all over again. Tae-hyung tries to return to his life. He works as a photography assistant and moves through sets where everything looks bright on the outside, but inside he feels empty. His only real distraction is Woo-ju. The child, without even realizing it, starts becoming his anchor. As the days pass, the little boy gets used to seeing him, clings to him, searches for him with his eyes. And that closeness slowly makes Hyun-jin lower her guard. But the calm does not last long, because Park Yoon-sung appears, a man from Hyun-jin's past. He was her first love, someone with whom she had an unfinished story. Now he returns with a completely different image. Confident, wealthy, with an air of, I can fix everything. It turns out that Yoon-sung is the owner of the building where Hyun-jin lives, so he is no longer someone she can easily avoid. Yoon-sung presents himself as if no time has passed. He invites her to eat, asks about her life, and when he sees Woo-ju, he pretends to act naturally, but it is obvious that he was not expecting to find a child in the picture. Even so, he does not back away. In fact, he uses it to get closer. He tells her he admires that she is responsible, that a woman like her is worth it, that he could give her stability. Hyun-jin listens, but she does not let herself be carried away. On one hand, his persistence makes her uncomfortable. On the other, there is a part of her that wonders if the stability he offers would be easier than the chaotic life she has with Tae-hyung. It is not that she feels nothing for Yoon-sung. It is just that everything now carries weight. She is no longer alone. Every decision affects Woo-ju. Meanwhile, Tae-hyung watches Yoon-sung from a distance, and even though he does not say it, his annoyance is obvious. He does not understand why it bothers him so much if, in theory, Hyun-jin is only the child's aunt. But the problem is that he has already gotten used to seeing her every day. In the kitchen, in the living room, during rushed mornings, during exhausted nights. And without realizing it, she has become part of his routine, and part of his refuge. The tension explodes one day over something as simple as the heating. In the middle of the cold, the apartment loses heat and Hyun-jin panics because Woo-ju catches colds easily. Tae-hyung shows up with tools, checks everything, gets his hands dirty, and fixes it. It is not a romantic gesture with flowers and music. It is a practical act, but so full of care that Hyun-jin feels her chest loosen. It is as if, finally, someone is carrying the same weight as her. Even so, Tae-hyung has a big problem. He does not know how to talk about what he feels. When he feels cornered, he lets out harsh comments that hurt. In one argument, he ends up saying that Hyun-jin cannot handle everything, or that she should think about leaving, and she is left frozen. Not because it is true, but because she is giving her whole life and does not need someone rubbing salt into the wound. Tae-hyung realizes too late what he caused. He regrets it, but apologizing is also hard for him. The way he apologizes is strange, but sincere. He shows up with a pot of porridge, made by him, and leaves it for her as if it were the most normal thing in the world. Hyun-jin does not want to give in, but the gesture disarms her. And when he stays there in silence, waiting for her to eat, it becomes clear that his affection is not in pretty words, but in actions. Yoon-sung, on the other hand, keeps insisting. He buys gifts for Woo-ju, tries to win the child over, and even offers to help with paperwork. Hyun-jin appreciates the intention, but she feels that he is entering her life as if it were a project. And that bothers her, because her reality is not a goal. It is grief, it is parenting, it is exhaustion, it is learning as she goes. At one point, Yoon-sung drops a bombshell. He proposes marriage. Just like that, directly. He says that he can take care of her and the child, that they can form a real home, that there is no reason to keep suffering. The proposal sounds nice from the outside, but Hyun-jin feels that something does not fit. Not because it is a bad proposal, but because her heart is not moving in that direction. She does not want to build a life out of pressure or fear. And even though her voice trembles, she ends up saying no. That decision leaves her exhausted. And just when she thinks she has already had enough drama, something happens that truly shakes her. One night, someone tries to get into her house. Hyun-jin hears noises, gets scared, and the first thing she does is protect Woo-ju. Tae-hyung appears immediately and handles the situation with a cool head. He does not start shouting like in a movie, but he acts fast, calls the police, and stays alert until everything calms down. After that, Hyun-jin realizes that her home is not a perfect place, but it is the place where she feels protected. With time, she begins to recognize something she had been avoiding. Tae-hyung has become her home. Not only because they live under the same roof, but because of the feeling of peace he gives her when everything is falling apart. So much so that one day she changes his contact name in her phone and gives him a nickname that says everything, my home. It is not an official declaration, but it is a truth that slips out without her even noticing. Tae-hyung is changing too. For Woo-ju, and for Hyun-jin. Instead of running away, he starts staying. Instead of hiding in work, he comes home early. And when he realizes that she is drained, he looks for ways to ease her burden. He takes her out to eat something good, buys her flowers to make her smile, prepares a simple surprise that, for her, is worth gold. One night, after an argument, Tae-hyung lets out what he has been holding in for months. He does not do it with a perfect speech. He does it in his own way, nervously and with a half-broken voice. He tells her that he likes her, that he does not know how to say it better, but that he cannot keep pretending that she is only the child's aunt. Hyun-jin goes still, because one part of her had been expecting it and another part feared it would happen. Even so, when she looks at him, she understands that he is not playing around. He is taking a risk. From there, what exists between them starts becoming real. It is not a fairy tale relationship. It is a relationship built between diapers, schedules, and work. They have tender moments, like when Woo-ju falls asleep between them, or when Tae-hyung kneels down to the child's level to explain something patiently. But they also have clashes, especially over parenting. Tae-hyung is stricter. He wants routines, proper clothes, fixed schedules. Hyun-jin is more flexible. She believes the child also needs room to breathe and play. They argue, get frustrated, and then learn how to negotiate. Before custody becomes the central issue, Daily life gives them more than one test. Hyunjin keeps trying to perform at work as if nothing is happening, but her reality shows on her face. Dark circles, constant rush, and her phone vibrating over every little thing related to the child. One day Woo-ju gets sick and she has to run out of the building. Her co-workers look at her strangely, and someone even hints that she is probably making excuses. Hyunjin swallows her anger, because she knows that explaining grief and parenting would only open the door to more gossip. With time, Hyunjin and Tae-hyung start organizing themselves like a team. It does not always go perfectly, but for the first time they feel like they are not swimming alone. Tae-hyung learns to prepare the child's bag before bed. Diapers, wipes, an extra change of clothes. Hyunjin learns to trust him with tasks she had been afraid to let go of before, like taking Woo-ju to the pediatrician or staying with the child while she handles errands. And that is where another important detail comes in. Woo-ju starts growing, and baby mode turns into earthquake mode. The boy no longer stays still. He runs, asks questions, breaks things, and has a special talent for disappearing the second an adult blinks. Hyunjin gets tired, gets frustrated, and there are days when she feels like a bad person for thinking, "I need 5 minutes of silence." Tae-hyung sees her like that and without saying much, takes the child, goes out with him, buys him an ice cream, and comes back with Woo-ju asleep on his shoulder, as if it were the most normal trick in the world. That kind of gesture makes Hyunjin begin to look at Tae-hyung differently. No longer only as the child's uncle, but as someone who supports her. And something similar happens to Tae-hyung. He is surprised when, after a horrible day, Hyunjin serves food to him first and not to the child. It is a small thing, but to him it means, "You matter too." That is why Yoon Song becomes a bigger emotional problem than he seems. He does not arrive only as an ex. He arrives as an option. A bright, easy option, with open doors. Yoon Song shows up in a nice car, invites Hyunjin to elegant restaurants, and, when she says she cannot because she has to pick up Woo-ju, he answers that he can send someone. That comment, which for him is a solution, sounds to Hyunjin like, "You do not understand anything." She does not want to outsource her life. She wants to live it. Yoon Song also tries to get close to Woo-ju. He buys him gifts, talks to him gently, and even offers to be a father figure. Hyunjin feels uncomfortable, because he says it as if it were a position, not a bond. Woo-ju, who is not foolish, accepts him out of curiosity, but his real trust lies with Tae-hyung. When the child gets scared, he runs to Tae-hyung. When he falls, he calls for Hyunjin. And that leaves Yoon Song standing in a corner, not knowing how to enter. Tae-hyung, for his part, does not handle jealousy well. There is one scene that becomes key. Yoon Song appears in the building and, in front of everyone, treats Hyunjin as if they were still something. Tae-hyung sees it from the hallway and, for the first time, his discomfort shows clearly on his face. Later, when they are alone, Hyunjin asks him if something is wrong, and he says no. But he says it so coldly that it is obvious something is. On another occasion, Hyunjin accepts a dinner with Yoon Song out of pure social pressure, more than out of desire. Tae-hyung stays with Woo-ju and pretends that he does not care, but spends the whole night checking the clock, as if every minute were part of a silent competition. When Hyunjin returns, tired and with her head full, he asks if she ate well. She answers yes, but she does not sound happy. Tae-hyung cannot hold back and lets out an awkward remark, as if to mark territory. Hyunjin gets upset, because she does not want to be controlled. But she also understands that he is not acting out of pride, but out of fear. And between fears and clumsiness, the relationship moves forward. It does not turn into romance from one day to the next. It becomes habit. Watching a movie while Woo-ju sleeps. Laughing when the child puts a sock on his hand as if it were a glove. Arguing over who washes the dishes and ending up doing a ridiculous race to see who finishes first. It is those silly things that, without them noticing, bring them together. At the same time, work-life changes. In the food company where Hyunjin works, an opportunity for a promotion comes up. She does not want it, because she feels that she cannot handle more responsibilities. But a coworker tells her something that hits hard. If you do not take it, someone else will, and you will stay stuck. Hyunjin remembers her sister telling her not to give up on her goals. So she takes the risk. She throws herself into it completely, sleeps little, works late into the night, and still comes home to bathe Woo-ju. Tae-hyung sees her like a machine and asks her to stop, to take care of herself. She answers that she does not have the luxury of stopping. That same period also hits Tae-hyung. In the photography world, a big competition appears and the team needs results. Tae-hyung stays up late editing, and one day he falls asleep in front of the computer. The lead photographer gets furious and humiliates him in front of the others. Tae-hyung does not defend himself, but inside he breaks. That day he comes home quieter than usual. Hyun-jin notices, serves him a hot soup, and does not ask questions. She simply sits beside him. Tae-hyung understands the message. It is not necessary to talk in order to feel accompanied. Then the moment of preschool arrives. Hyun-jin needs to leave Woo-ju somewhere safe so that she can work without living in panic. On the first day, the child cries as if the world were being taken away from him, and Hyun-jin almost turns back. Tae-hyung stops her. He tells her it is normal, that the child will adapt. And even though Hyun-jin leaves with a tight heart, she returns hours later and finds Woo-ju playing peacefully. It is a relief, but also a reminder. Time is passing. At that preschool, Hyun-jin also faces something uncomfortable. Other mothers judge her. Some look at her as the young aunt, others as the single mother, and she does not want to explain anything. Tae-hyung shows up one day to pick up the child and, without meaning to, steals every glance. The mothers start inventing stories. Hyun-jin gets annoyed, but Tae-hyung takes it calmly. What matters is that Woo-ju is fine. And just when it seems that everything is finally settling into place, Tae-hyung receives a visit that destabilizes him. His father. The man appears as if he were entitled to everything. He talks about money, insurance, and what belongs to him. Hyun-jin notices that Tae-hyung stiffens the moment he sees him. That is when it becomes clear that their relationship is old and heavy. Tae-hyung's father does not come with affection. He comes with interest. And that interest has a name. The insurance money. Tae-hyung discovers that his father signed documents using his name and collected a portion he was not supposed to. When he confronts him, the man plays the victim and says that he did it for the family. Tae-hyung loses control. Hyun-jin sees him for the first time on the edge of both a rage attack and deep sadness. It is as if the responsible boy he had always been finally got tired of holding everything together. After that fight, Tae-hyung sinks. It shows in his body. He eats little, sleeps badly, and stares at the wall as if he has no strength left. Hyun-jin stays by his side, reminding him that he is not his father, that he does not have to carry someone else's guilt. Tae-hyung tries to smile, but breaks. For the first time, he tells her that at home they always demanded perfection from him, and that when his brother died, he felt like he had to replace him, as if one human being could fill a hole like that. Hyun-jin listens and understands something important. Tae-hyung is not only raising Woo-ju, he is trying to repair a broken family. And in that attempt, he himself is breaking. She takes his hand and repeats something he had once said to her, that he does not have to do it alone. This part also shows a darker side of Yoon-sung. He does not accept no gracefully. He becomes insistent, jealous, and even suggests that Hyun-jin is confused because she is living with Tae-hyung. Hyun-jin explodes. She makes it clear that she is not an indecisive teenager, that she has already made difficult decisions, and that no one is going to reduce her life to a romantic whim. Yoon-sung stops, but it becomes clear that his love comes with ego. By the time legal custody becomes an urgent necessity, Hyun-jin and Tae-hyung are no longer two adults improvising. They are a team that has been surviving day after day, and that, even if it does not make things easier in court, gives them a different kind of strength. In the middle of all of this, the biggest problem appears: the legal custody of Woo-ju. Until that moment, Hyun-jin had been raising him, in fact, but not by right. And that is dangerous. Tae-hyung understands that, if someone ever claims him, they could be separated from the child. So he decides that the right thing to do is to begin the process so that both of them can become the official guardians. The process is not pleasant. It is bureaucracy, paperwork, interviews, and people examining your life as if it were a file. Hyun-jin gets nervous, because she feels that her job is not as stable as she wishes and because, in reality, she often depends on Tae-hyung or neighbors to help care for the child. Tae-hyung calms her down and repeats something simple. No one loves Woo-ju the way they do. That should matter more than anything else. To catch their breath before the evaluation, Tae-hyung suggests a family trip. He wants Hyun-jin to stop living with her heart squeezed tight. So the three of them leave, trying to spend a nice day together. The plan, as always, becomes complicated. Woo-ju touches everything. A toy gets lost, the GPS fails, and they even run into a restaurant that does not allow children. But in the end, they laugh. Tae-hyung takes pictures of Hyun-jin and Woo-ju walking among the trees, and for a while, they feel like a normal family. That day also brings a huge scare. At a highway stop, Hyunjin lets go of Wooju's hand for 1 second, and the child disappears into the crowd. Panic hits her like a blow. Taehyung runs everywhere, they ask for help, and announcements are made over the loudspeaker. When a woman finally appears holding Wooju's hand, Hyunjin collapses in relief. She hugs the child tightly, and in that moment she truly understands how fragile everything is. The irony is that this same woman turns out to be the investigator for the custody case. And when the day of the hearing arrives, Hyunjin walks into the courtroom and goes cold when she recognizes her. The investigator carefully reviews the documents, listens, asks questions, and does not let herself be moved by love alone. She wants stability. She wants routines. She wants guarantees. And that is when another problem Taehyung had hidden comes out. His father. Taehyung had a serious conflict with him because his father got involved with the insurance money, signing things he should not have signed, and that left an ugly stain on the family environment. Hyunjin already knew it, but now the court knows it too. Taehyung promises that it will not happen again, but the investigator is cold. When money is involved, there is risk. Hyunjin does everything she can to explain that Wooju is fine, that they take care of him, that the child is happy. But the investigator does not budge. She even mentions the scare at the rest area as an example that a second can change everything. In the end, her decision falls like a bucket of cold water. Custody is denied. They are told that they cannot be approved as guardians. For Hyunjin and Taehyung, that feels like losing the ground beneath their feet. Not because they want to win something, but because it means they could be separated from Wooju. Hyunjin feels guilty, as if it were all because of her job or her exhaustion. Taehyung stays silent, with his gaze lost, and for the first time it is obvious that he is truly afraid. But in the final stretch, they do not give up. Taehyung decides to confront his father directly. No longer as an obedient son, but as an adult with a family to protect. He demands that he return the money and stop staining everything. The father, seeing that Taehyung is not playing around, finally gives in. He does not become a saint, but at least he does the right thing. Meanwhile, Hyunjin also grows stronger. She talks to people, seeks advice, organizes her life so that it looks more stable. And most importantly, she stops feeling less than. She understands that her worth is not measured by a perfectly organized schedule, but by everything she did to give Wooju a home. When the time comes to fight again, Taehyung and Hyunjin prepare a different kind of presentation. Not just papers. Also proof of life. Photos, videos, memories. Real moments in which Wooju smiles, runs into their arms, falls asleep feeling safe. They do not try to sell a fairy tale. They simply show the truth. The second evaluation is hard, but this time the balance shifts. The investigator sees that they are not improvising. She sees that Taehyung is not running away. She sees that Hyunjin is not collapsing alone. She sees that Wooju, even though he is small, lights up around them. And in the end, the decision changes. They are granted custody. The joy arrives like an enormous breath of relief. They do not throw a huge party, but they hug each other as if the world has fallen back into place. Taehyung looks at Hyunjin and, without having to say too much, lets her understand that now they truly are a family, not only by feeling, but also by right. The ending is Wooju's birthday. Hyunjin wants something simple, but beautiful. Taehyung gets involved in everything. Balloons, cake, photos. And when Wooju blows out the candle, the scene is simple, but powerful. A child who lost his parents is now surrounded by two adults who love him as if he were the most important thing in the world. That night, when the child finally falls asleep, Hyunjin and Taehyung stay looking at the room in silence, as if they do not want to break the moment. Taehyung, for the first time without running away, says what comes from his heart. That he wants to keep living like this forever, that he wants to take care of Hyunjin and Wooju, and that he is no longer afraid to build something. It is not a storybook ending with artificial lights. It is the kind of ending that feels real. Two people who found each other in the middle of pain, learned how to take care of one another, and ended up building a home. An imperfect home, but a strong one. End of the drama.